Yo, what is up? So today I made this sidebar with React and I'm going to show you how I did it. So pretty much here it is. Got the little icon, click it, slides out, hover over it. Got this little effect, and then we utilize React Router and I can change the path. In addition, the actual dashboard closes on click as well. Super simple, same thing with products and then also the X. And you get the point, standard sidebar. So if you want to learn how I did it, then definitely watch this video all the way to the end. So without further ado, let's hop into our code editor and let me show you how I made this. So here I am on my terminal, so go ahead and open that up. And if you've made a React app before, then you know the drill, but essentially we're gonna say npx, gotta click on this, npx, and then space create dash react dash app. And then I'm gonna have the file name for this one. I'm just gonna say React sidebar, and then let's just put version 1. And then I'm gonna go ahead and press enter. And then once this loads up, I will see you once it gets completed. All right, so mine just finished loading, so I'm gonna go ahead and cd into the file. So cd react-sidebar-v1. And if you have npm, it's going to tell you to say npm start, but I have yarn, so I'm gonna type in yarn start. So actually, let's go ahead and open this first, and then I'll actually start it after. So let's go ahead and type in code dot. And then this will open up my VS Code. I have that added, so if you don't have that, go ahead and just quick Google search code dot, and then it'll tell you how to get that up and running for you to have this working. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and do Command J. This opens up my terminal, and then here I'm gonna say yarn start. If you don't have yarn, just do npm start, same exact thing, and then it should load up. And currently it's going to tell me I have an error, so I have to go ahead and create a new file, call it .env. If you don't have this error, then just ignore this, and I just have to copy this code in. But if you do, just do these steps, and then let me do it again. Yarn start. And I have the app already running, so I'm just gonna type Y. You shouldn't see this if you don't have any apps currently running. And here we go, we have the React logo showing. So let me just shrink this over, and let me just bring this to the side so you can see what we are doing. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and exit off this now. And let's go ahead and open up the SRC folder. Let's go ahead and delete setup tests, service workers, and logo.svg. So I'm gonna click on setup test, hold shift, and click on logo. Selects all three, delete this, move to trash, go to index.js. Let's just get rid of this bottom code here. And then let's delete this import from service worker, and then get rid of the index.css because we're gonna have to get rid of that, save it, delete index.css, don't need this, app.test, I don't need that either, and then app.js, let's just get rid of everything here, and let's just say h1 ayo showing up. Oh, we got logo here too, so let me delete this, save that, and boom, it was working. All right, perfect. So now let's go ahead and start editing the code. So the first thing I'm gonna do is, since this is such a small project, we're just gonna keep everything in a components folder and pages folder. So let's right click SRC, click on new folder. Let me just name this components. And then inside of this folder, I'm gonna right click this, create a new file. We're just gonna call this navbar.js. I mean, you can call it sidebar, whatever you want to. And then right click components again, create the navbar.css. And then the last one I'm gonna create is a data file. So I'm just gonna call this new file sidebar data.js. And then in the SRC again, just right click it and create another new folder. And let's just call this pages. And this is just an extra step, but this is just to show you like the changes in here. So let's just right click pages, new file, let's just call this home.js. And then let's just create two more just for this example. Let's just call this products.js. And then let's do reports.js. And now let's go into the Navbar. And if you don't have this plugin, just go to this little icon here, type in ES7, click on this one, should be the one right here, and go ahead and install that. If you have it, perfect. And let's go to Navbar. And then once you install that, if it doesn't work, you can try closing out of your VS Code and then signing back in, and pretty much it should work there. And then just go ahead and type in RFCE. It will pop up, and then you just press enter, and voila, you have import React, the function, and then also export. And while we're here, let's go ahead and Command J, and let me open up a new, so hit the plus sign here, and we're gonna install React Router. So if you have npm, then you would do npm install and then whatever I type after. So instead I have yarn, so mine is yarn add, and then I'm just gonna say React Router -dom, then press enter. So if you have npm, you would just say npm install React Router DOM, and then once that loads up, you're pretty much good to go. And that's essentially the link tag we're gonna insert eventually. But for now, let's go ahead and let me turn these into fragments. And then inside this navbar, I want to create the first div. So let's just call this .navbar. So this is just a class. And sometimes my VS Code does not like auto typing it out. So let me just type this out for now. I'll probably refresh it later. But let's just make a div with the class of navbar. And then inside of this div, I want to add the icons. So we have to install React icons as well. So let me go ahead and type it out first, and then we'll install it after, and I can explain everything. So I'm gonna do link, and then I want the path to just be just a hash symbol or hashtag. And then let's type in, for the class name, I want that to be menu bars. And let me Command B so you can see this better. And let me just close this out. And then inside of this link, this is going to be the bars icon. So what we're gonna do is, let's go ahead and actually install this, because it's not gonna make sense if you've never seen this before. Let me get rid of these for 1 second. What was happening? Let me exit off this, just cleans things up. All right, so let me do Command J, open up the terminal, and then go down and install React icons. So I'm gonna say yarn add React icons. So I went ahead and pull it up on the side so you can see this. So if you do have npm, this is what you would just type in, but I have yarn, so I'm just gonna go with yarn add. And then once I press enter, it'll load up. And if you've never seen this, it pretty much allows you to use a lot of different icons from a lot of different sources. So we got, you know, here Bootstrap, Feather, Flat, Font Awesome, etc. Ion icons, all of these, and then all you have to do is just, you can normally import it like this, which is a standard way. So if you've used this before, then you know. But I'm gonna show you a little hack, I guess, a little shortcut to make it easier. And then all you'd have to do is just add the icon in. So for instance, if I wanted bars, right? Here's FA bars. Typically you would go, and this is a font awesome too, so I'd have to add this at the top of my list. So let me add the icon component first and just show you what normally it would look like. So it'd be like this, and then I would import it at the top like that. But this little shortcut, instead I'm gonna do this, where I'm gonna say imports, and then the little shift 8 little star asterisk, and then say import as FA icons, and this is just what I named it as. And then you can take this and leave that here, so you can leave like this, and then in front of the FA bars we can just say FA icons dot FA bars, and it's essentially the same thing, except now if I want to add a bunch more of these icons here, all I have to do is say FA icons dot whatever the icon name is, and then I don't have to sit here and import like a trillion separate names, because normally you would import each individual name with a comma that way. So if you know that, that's cool, but if you haven't seen that trick, that's how you do it. And then when I save this, what's gonna happen is it's gonna have an error because we don't have any routes or a router linked up on the actual app.js files. When I save this right now, it's gonna say, actually it's not showing because I don't have it on the app.js. So if I were to go here, and let's just get rid of the divs here. Let's get rid of this, erase that, and then if I were to just sit here and say navbar, then just press enter, it automatically imports it. And I save it, it's gonna say, let's see, error, link is not defined. So now I have to actually import, yeah, let me import a link on, so go back to navbar. Let's import link from React router DOM, and then it's still gonna run, let me see, saves it. And now it's saying, yeah, you can't use a link outside router. So now I go to app.js now. And let's wrap this with the typical router tags. And then let me bring, I'm gonna hold Alt and then the up arrow that brings it there. And I wanna add a switch. So let's say switch. And then inside the switch, I'm gonna have the routes. So let's just do routes. And I want the path to be /. And we don't have the components created yet, so we can add that later. But for now, let's just keep it like this. And it's gonna run an error. So what we're gonna do is go to the top, and let's do import curly braces browser router as router. So we're renaming it like this. And then I need to import switch. Let me do switch first, and then let's do route. And then I'm gonna say from React router DOM. Save this, and now we should see a little bars icon here, right there. So now we have that there. So let's go ahead, let me exit off this, go back to the Navbar.js file, and then let's go ahead and go outside of this div now, and let's just call this, let's do nav. So let's see, I'm gonna make a tag because I have a specific function, right? I'm gonna set up, so I'm gonna say nav class name equal to curly braces, and then we're gonna set some state with the useState hook. So we're gonna just say sidebar, and we're gonna create this in just a second, and then we use ternary operators. So here we're gonna say if is true, meaning if I clicked on the icon, the sidebar is showing. I want the class to be nav menu space active, meaning that it's showing. Else, use a colon, I'm gonna say nav dash menu. So that basically it's hidden. And then outside, we'll just close it out. And then we have inside of this, we're gonna have a UL. So let's do UL class name equals to nav dash menu dash items. And then it's gonna, we don't have an on-click function, but let me add that after, because you might not understand it if I just add it right away. And then here's have an li dot navbar dash toggle. And it looks like it's working now. I can auto type it. So have that class name navbar dash toggle, and then in here I'm gonna create a link, and this one's going to say 2 equals, so the hashtag symbol, and then class name equals to menu dash bars. And then in here I want to import the X icon. So here I'm gonna actually go ahead and I'll show you where I got this on React icons. I just type in close, and this is the one right here. So I'm gonna click on this, it auto copies it, and then I'm gonna create the icon right there, self-closing tag. Instead though, I'm gonna actually import it from the top. So let me go ahead and do Alt Shift down arrow. I'm gonna change this from FA to AI because it's AI is the first 2 letters, and that's a way to know, unless they updated, how to have the slash here. So this is gonna be React icon slash AI. And then in front of this, I'm gonna have AI, capital I, CONS icon dot AI outline close. And then when I save this, it's gonna have an error, I think because of sidebar not being defined. Let's see. Yeah, so it's not defined. So let's go ahead and just create the state real quick. So first thing we have to import useState. So say useState at the top. And then under here, we're gonna say const, and we're gonna pass in this array with the first value, and that's gonna be sidebar. And then we have the function that updates the state. We're gonna say this as set sidebar. And then we're gonna set this equal to use state of the current value. I want it to be false, meaning it's not showing. And then let's go ahead and create the function. And here to show and say const, and I'm gonna call this show sidebar. So I'm gonna say show sidebar. I'm gonna set this equal to an arrow function, and then here we're just gonna say set sidebar. So now I'm gonna utilize set sidebar, and this is going to update the value to whatever the opposite of it is currently. So kind of like a toggle. So I'm just gonna say exclamation mark sidebar. So it's like reversing the value true false true false. And then here we're gonna have to utilize this show sidebar, and here is the bars icon that we had. So I want to say on click, I want it to set equal to show sidebar. Then if I save this, should be working. Let's see. So pretty much right now when I click it, it's supposed to update the state, but since we don't have the CSS and anything up yet, you can't see anything going on, but at least we have something here. Now, underneath this li right here, we're going to map through a data file, which I'm going to create. And this is all of the, if I go back, this is all of these items right here. So let's go ahead and go back to our file and go to SidebarData.js. Now in here, I'm going to import a bunch of things here. So let's go ahead. I'm going to copy this over, or a little shortcut key I'll show you since you have the ES7 plugins. You can do IMR tab, import React. And then what you can do is go back to Navbar and get both of these lines here. And let's just import this here. And then I have one more line, it's just called the IO icon. So go ahead and type this line in, or just copy it down and just update it. Say capital IO icons, and then just IO after the slash. And then here, I'm just gonna say export const, and I just named it sidebar data. And it's equal to array, and then we have the curly braces, and now in here we're going to create it. So this is the way I did this. Feel free to refactor the code, tell me any suggestions, but right now I'm going to just call this the title colon is going to be home, and then underneath that have a comma, say path, this is the URL, and I just want that to be the slash for home. And then icon. So this is where I'm going to import the icon for the home. So here, let me just show you all of these icons right here that you see. So let me just say opening, and then I'm going to say AI icons dots AI fill home, which is the icon I want, the home icon, sub closing, and then comma. And then here I just called this CName, is short for class name for mine. You can name this whatever you want to. And I just want that to be called nav-text. And then all we need to do, let me add a comma here, and then just copy and paste this as many times as you want, or as many sidebar items as you need. So I'm just gonna copy that one. So I think I had how many? 6. So let's just do this 5 more times. So 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now here, I'm just gonna go ahead and change this. It's gonna be reports. Path name is going to be reports. The icon, I'm gonna change this one to IO icons dot IO iOS paper. And then the class name is the same here. So pretty much all I need to do is change the title and the path and the icon. So here's gonna be products here, and again, this is whatever you want yours to say. And then let's just do FA icons dot FA cart plus, and then for the last 3, these are just gonna say, let's see, team slash team, and then icon will be IO icons dot IOMD people, Then the last two, let's do messages slash messages, and then let's do a icon fa icons dot fa on envelope open text, and then here last one is support slash supports, and then in here we're just gonna say io icons dot iomdhelp circle. So here you feel free to fill these icons whatever you want to, but I'm gonna save that here, and then I'm gonna go back to navbar.js, and then I'm gonna have to import this data file. So here I'm gonna say imports curly braces, because we didn't say default, we just left it as regular, sidebar data from dot slash sidebar data, and now we can access all of this data now. So now I'm gonna say here under this li, press enter, curly brace, and now we're going to target that data file, so sidebar data. Then we're going to map through this, and if you've seen my other Navbar videos, it's pretty familiar, but here I'm just going to pass in, I'm just going to call this item, you can call this whatever you want to, and then I'm going to pass in index. Now outside of the second parenthesis, which you can't really see right now because of this pop-up, but we're going to do the arrow function and then curly braces. So just make sure you have the same parentheses, so we have these and then the arrow function and the curly braces, and then we're going to simply return parenthesis here. Now in here we're going to create an li and then a link tag and then a span. So we're going to say li, I'm going to set the key equal to curly brace index, and then I want the class name equal to whatever we named it back in the data file. So we're going to pass an item dot cname. So I'll just go back and show you. Here's item, we just said dot, and then we're targeting the class name here. And then it's going to rinse and repeat for everything else. So here is the cname, close that out. And then we're going to do link. So link tag 2 equals to item dot path. So just again, do one more time, targeting the path now. So this is what's going to show whenever we map through this. Close this out. Now inside the link, I want the icon to be above this. So I'm gonna say curly brace item dot icon. And then under here, I'm gonna have a span tag. And then here I'm just gonna say curly brace item dot title. So now if I save this, go back, now you can see that all of our data from the sidebar data file is showing up here. And then you can just have this infinitely however many you want, and then they will just go through and show up here. And now all we need to do is, let me show you one thing too. You can add this, because right now all the icons are technically, let's just add the CSS first so you can see what's going on. But let's do Command B, Navbar CSS, and it's not too long, so it should be fairly quick. But let's just target the navbar, and let's just say background color to be hashtag 060B26, and then feel free to refactor this in stock components or whichever way, and then feel free to send me the code if you want to. But here we're going to say height 80 pixels, we're going to say display flex, justify content starts, and line items center. And let me just drag this over so you can see what's happening. I think I have to import the Navbar CSS too, so you can see what's going on. So let's just do imports, and then go back to navbar.js / navbar.css. Save it here. So now we got something going on, and then let's go back. Let's just do .menu - bars. This is going to be margin - left of, let's do 2 rem. Font size, let's do 2 rem here, and then background to be none. Save it there, and then under nav menu, let's do .nav - menu. Background color, I want it to be the same, so I'm just going to copy this line here, and then here I'm going to say width, I want it to be 250 pixels. So now you can see we're editing the sidebar. The height, I want it to be 100 viewport height. Shows all the way. Display, flex. Let's do justify content center. And then let's do position. I want it to be fixed. Top to be 0. And then let's do left, going to be minus 100%. And then let's do a transition of 850 milliseconds. So right now when I do this, it's going to hide it. So let's actually comment this out because you can see the styling if I leave it out. And then nav menu active. So I do .nav-menu.active. This is where it pans out from negative 100 to 0. So that's where you can see it like this. So I'll just say left 0. And then transition, let's just do 350 milliseconds. So right now you can't see anything because it's not being toggled, but that's essentially what it does. And then nav text would just be .nav-text. Let's do display flex. Justify content start. Align items to be center. Padding, I want this to be 8 pixels by 0 pixels by 8 pixels by 16 pixels. List style will be none. And then height, I want to be 60 pixels. So we got some progress here. And then let's target the A tags now. So let's do .nav-text A. Let's do text decoration to be none. So the underline's gone. Let's make the color to be F5, F5, F5. And then font size is going to be 18 pixels. Let's do width of, should be width like this to be 95%. Height, I want it to be 100%. Display flex. Align items to be center. Padding to be 0, 16 pixels. And then border radius to be 4 pixels. So right now you can't really see what's going on, but once we do the hover effect, you'll see what happened. But let's do .nav-text A:hover. And let's just do background color of hashtag 1A83FF. Save it. So now when I hover, you can see that's where we had that little effect, like the first one, like this. So that's how you can see I had the little spacings on the side. That's the padding right there, up here. Such a little CSS effect. And then let's do let's see, nav-menu-items. Let's make the width to be 100%. Nice and centered here. And then for the two more, we're almost done. Navbar-toggle. We're just gonna say background-color to be the same thing, hashtag 060B26. Width 100%. Should be called like this. Let's do height. I want it to be 80 pixels. Display flex. Justify content start. And then align items center. Looking a little better. And then under here, we're gonna just create a span tag. And let's just say margin-left to be 16 pixels. So right now it looks kind of weird, but all we need to do now is go to the app.css. You can have a global styles if you want to. Let me just do Command A, get rid of all of this. And then here I'm going to import a font. So I'm going to say @import URL. And I'm going to go ahead and copy this, but this is pretty much the Lado font here. You can use whatever font you want, but this is just, I'm just using this for like filler right now. Obviously you can import your own font from Google or wherever you like. And then, or you can just straight up copy that link there. And then let's do the targeting everything, and let's just say box sizing, border, box. And then I want the margin to be 0, padding to be 0, font family to be Lado, and then comma sans serif. Now we've got much better spacing, and then let's do target the home dot reports and then dot products. And why don't I put a comma? Hold on. Yeah, here we're good. And then let's do display to be flex. And this is just filler just so you can see the screen changing, but obviously you would have your own component CSS here. Let's just do 90VH, align items to be center. Justify content, center, and then font size to be 3 rem. So right now you can't really see what's going on, but pretty much is like this. Let's go back to navbar.js and let's import something really quick to add styles to all of the icons. They're already white except the X, but I mean, since we're here already, might as well do this. And also let me go ahead and import this first at the top. So let's just say import curly brace icon context from React-icons. And now I'm going to wrap the entire thing with an icon context provider. So this is, if you've heard of Context API where you pass in data and then you can pretty much access it all in the component, then you'll know about this. But this allows you to customize all the icons at the top level, so you have to sit there and add an individual like color or class on each icon. So pretty much I'm going to say above the navbar div, just say icon context dot provider, and then close it out. And let's just take the last closing tag, go all the way to the bottom under this nav, close it out. Wait, hold up. Go like this, and then in the icon provider, I'm just set the value equal to double curly brace, color to be hashtag FFF. So that way, let's see what happened. Need to put the string quotes around it, and it should work now. All right, perfect. So now all the icons are for sure white. And if I were to change this to like red, if I show you here, they're all gonna turn red. But let's just do it like this to make sure everything's consistent. And boom, voila, we're here. And now all we need to do is make the functionality in the navbar work. So let me go back to the navbar CSS. Go all the way to the top where it said left -100 and comment that back out. So now it's hidden. And then when I click it, it pops out, but we have an issue. It's not closing it and you can't see anything. So let's go ahead and edit that now. So now what we need to do is go and add the, where is it at? On click show sidebar. I need to add this to our UL. So right now this is the UL and I'm going to add it here. And this, what this is going to do is whenever you click on any of these pretty much items here, it's going to automatically close it for us. So let's just save this here and let's just test it out right now. So the X works fine, the home works fine, reports work fine, and then products works fine. And now what we need to do is just update the routes on the app.js file, and that way you can see what's going on. But let's go to pages now and go to home.js, and then pretty much we can just do RFCE. And this is just filler, but let's just do class name here. Name equals to home, which we were created in the app.css earlier, and let's just say h1 home. Save that here. So now if I go to home, currently it's not showing because I need to add that to our import, but let's just go and copy this really quick. Go to products, paste it, change everything with home. So I'm gonna command D and just say products. And the one thing you just need to change the class name to lowercase products. Save it here. Go to reports, do the same exact thing. Highlight it, the word home, command D, command D, command D, and just say reports. And then just change reports, the class name to lowercase. And then last, let's go to app.cs or app.js. In here, I'm just going to add the components. So I'm just going to say components. I want that to be equal to home. And then I have to import this at the top. So I can just say here, go imports home from /pages/home. And then I'm just going to do this 2 more times. Over here, I'm going to command D again. Let's just say reports. And then over here, command D this again. Let's just say products. And then I'm gonna go down, Alt Shift down arrow twice, change this path to reports. Component I want to show is reports, and then this one's going to be products, and this one is going to be products. Now when I click this and save it, it's not going to work, and I want to see if you know why it's not working right now. So the links are updating, but the page is not rendering. It just says home. So the trick, if you do know, definitely comment down below and let me know if you got it. But all you need to do is go to the components where the home and just type in exact. That way that it knows exactly that it doesn't bring in the slash with the other paths. So now if I go home, you can see bada bing, bada boom, and then here we go. So pretty much you can just rinse and repeat this whatever you want to. But this is how I created this sidebar in React using React hooks, router, and React icons. So if you enjoyed this video, go down below, give this video a thumbs up, share this with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you are new. I'm pretty much documenting myself learning how to code and just building projects, showing you how I do it along the way. So if you want to see me, follow me along my coding journey, then definitely go down below, hit that subscribe button. Comment down below what you think, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.